Okay. Happy New Year, everyone. Happy 2024. And I hope 2024 is a great year for you. And hopefully, this year will be a great one for everyone who's watching and everyone around the world. Alright, so today's stream is going to be a bit different than my usual streams. Normally I'm a gaming streamer, but I'm also a big Nogizaka 46 water. So today we'll just be going through my Nogizaka 2023. Hashtag my Nogizaka 2023. So it'll just be me going through what I've seen of the group in the last year, and we'll have a guess at what's going to be coming in 2024 as well. So let's jump straight into it. And I think what we'll start off with is the fact that Japan opened back up again. So after the pandemic, how everything reopened up, and being able to return to Japan again was a great feeling. I've long considered it as my second home, so being away all this time was really difficult, but being able to go back intentionally, my intention being to attend the 11th birthday live, was great regardless. Even though I did miss out on the tickets for the BDL at Yokohama Arena. But yep, still going to Yokohama and at the break of dawn and lining up for the merch, and then, as is typical of my luck, having things sold out before I reach the front of the line. So that's been good. But missing out on the tickets was disappointing, but it was also a opportunity for me to travel a bit. So I managed to go up to Hokkaido, visit Sapporo, Otaru, Hakodate, managed to stop by Aomori on the way back, and then managed to visit Yamagata as well. But yeah, it's if you've been following the news over the last day, that whole region west of Tohoku and the Hokuriku regions being hit by a massive earthquake. So hopefully everyone up that way is staying safe and following all the evacuation notices and advice. So thoughts go out to everyone up there, and hope everyone's staying safe up there. Excuse me. So what else? Let's have a look. So for me, the biggest highlight of 2023 for me was being able to actually attend Jingu. So the 4 days of the final leg of the summer tour, managed to get tickets for that. Even though it was stage back tickets, I still managed to get into Jingu. And I think just being at such an iconic and such a, I don't know, I mean, it is a pilgrimage site basically for Nogizaka fans. So being in the actual venue itself, even though I was at stage back, was like an overwhelming experience. So being there and experiencing alive at Jingu was amazing. So yeah, the tickets were released about 2 weeks before the actual event, and so I was in Japan at the time, and I was worried that I'd actually miss out on the tickets again. So these were the general sales that I was aiming for, because obviously with all the pre-sales I'd never get any of the pre-sales, so waiting for the general sales. And it just so happened that when those tickets were released, I was actually at the Pokemon World Championships in Yokohama at the time. So had to plan ahead, bring my laptop, find Wi-Fi, and to camp the Rakuten tickets website to get the ticket release. So that was a experience, but managed to get all the 4 days, so that was really good. So on the topic of Jingu as well, I think a highlight for a lot of people as well was Aruno's Raw. A lot of people really, I think their view of Aruno as well at that time changed, and regardless of where you stand in regards to her, there's no denying that she can really sing. So that I felt was her conviction as well, just shining through her performance, and just seeing how she's grown in confidence ever since the setback of her hiatus, just shortly after her debut. She's now owning, actually, as she should be, because it is her centered song. So yeah, it's just seeing her performing that was really good. Where are we? So when she performed her quote Raw on day one, I don't think Jingu knew what was actually coming, and so the audience was quite shocked as well, and we didn't know what was going on at the time. So that was a shock, but it was a pleasant shock. And then consequently on day 2, I think everyone was anticipating that Raw as well, and so a lot of people who didn't even make it into the venue were filming from outside. So I saw a TikTok of some guys outside the venue, and they were recording just before that part, and like you could see them like in the anticipation, and then when it happened, it's like, the release, everyone was like, oh my god, crazy, especially with the fireworks going off as well at the time. And then there was also that one video that went viral on Twitter as well, where one of the, I think he was a Nogizako fan as well, he was attending a J-League game at the National Stadium, up in the nosebleed sections of National Stadium, and he was keeping an eye on Jingu as well, and was taking videos of what was going on over there. And so he captured the Raw for Actually as well, and that was crazy. Still gives me goosebumps to this day. So yeah, that was one of the highlights of Jingu. But I think as well with idol concerts, like everyone knows, like the audience knows their part in the actual concert as well. So being able to do calls again, and it was the first time for me since the 8th birthday live at Nagoya, and doing it at Jingu as well, that was a really special moment, because it is an essential experience, attending a live at an idol concert, as well as waving your light sticks and calling out the idol names and everything like that. That's just all part and parcel of it. So having that as being able to do that again, just felt so natural to do it, especially having missed out on attending the BDL in February. Wasn't able to attend that, so yeah, but doing it at Jingu, felt natural, felt good, and everyone was everyone was getting into the spirit of things. And first time at Jingu where it didn't rain, so I think Ume or someone was mentioning, they've broken the curse of the rain at Jingu, so that was really good. But yeah, Jingu, one of my highlights. Let's go through what else has happened in 2023. Let's have a look. The big graduations. So graduations of Asuka, Ayane, and Manatsu, and the handing of the baton over to Ume, the third gens, and to lead the next chapter of the Nogizaka 46 legacy. So that was really bittersweet, seeing the remaining first and second gen members leave. But we knew it was inevitable. We knew that they would graduate. It was just a matter of when. So for me, the third gen being in seniority, so being the most senior gen, is still a bit strange. But I think Ume, Kubo, Mizuki, all of them, they've done a great job keeping the legacy going. So everything that they've been doing since has been really good, and yeah, they've kept it going. I think the Kohai, the fourth and fifth gens now as well, knowing that there are no more first and second gen senpais, they've grown into the role a lot as well. So yeah, I think they've been doing a good job keeping the legacy going. And speaking of graduations as well, graduations of Seira and Yuri, they hit me a bit harder. Mainly because they were the first gen that I really followed all the way from when they actually started. So I did follow through the Sakamichi joint auditions when they were first announced, in, I think it was summer 2018. And yeah, just following them since then and seeing all their ups and downs throughout the years. Yeah, it was really, really tough seeing both of them leave for completely different reasons. But it was good to see both of them give recent updates on their Instagrams. So it was really touching to see that they're both doing well. They're continuing on, you know, and they're still out there living their life. So it's good to see that. Yeah, we're still waiting for what's going to happen with Yuri-chan's fourth gen project that she's developing. Like it was some movie or something. I think she was going to write the screenplay for and cast the fourth gens in. But yeah, we're still keeping an eye on that and seeing what happens with that in the end. So yeah, we'll keep an eye on that and we'll see where that goes from there. Okay, so next up is the fifth gens. So seeing the fifth gens, how they've grown into the idols that this group represents, has been phenomenal this year. Seeing how the fifth gen members have been integrated into Senbatsu and Unders, and how each successive single, that their representation has grown as well, and their influence in the actual group has grown, as each promotion period has gone along. So yeah, it's been good seeing that they've been fitting in really well. I've got a note here saying how the BFFs, Nagi being assigned as Senbatsu Center and Aruno being assigned the Unders Center. That was one of my points as well. So I think for most of us, it was pretty clear quite early on that Nagi was going to be the 5th gen ace. And her being assigned the Ohitori-sama Tengoku Center was a really welcome announcement. And I think that was probably the better way to go to promote a 5th gen into a center position, instead of airdropping them as they were entering the group. So yeah, so seeing Nagi become the center of Ohitori-sama Tengoku was really good, and how she carried herself throughout the summer tour as well just shows that she's matured so much from when she first joined the group and throughout the last 2 years. And all this experience being the center as well, being an ace, has put her in good stead going forward as well. So that was really good. And for Aruno, after all her setbacks, she's grown through all her adversity as well, and has now become the current undercenter for the 34th single for Monopoly. And so she'll be what they call it, I don't know if it's true or if that's what they call it, but the chairman of the Underlive in January. So she'll be getting all that experience under her belt as well as all her, her that music show, Spicy Sessions, I think it is, that, and her haiku program as well. So she's been getting a lot of extra work as well. So just seeing her grow through all of that, that's also been a pleasure as well. So yeah, but seeing both of them as BFFs grow together, leaning on each other throughout the year, it's been, everything's, I think, just been falling into place for them as well. And I feel that my love and respect for this gen has grown more as I've seen them grow. So I think at the beginning, as a new addition, you're always gonna be really positive about their effect and how they'll fit in with the group and everything. But then actually seeing them grow and seeing them slot into the group, seeing where they are positioned in the group and everything like that, that's just given me more love and respect for them. And I think a big contributor of that is having Star Tanjo every week, and they're continuing to pump those episodes out, even though I think they've had a bit of an identity crisis since becoming Cho Nogizaka Star Tanjo. But yeah, they're having that constant exposure for the 5th gens to singing, acting, having that variety content, doing the skits, things like that. That's all going to be useful for them in the long run, in any work that they do pick up later on, any acting work, variety work, TV work, that's all going to help them. But having that safe space in their own program, like the 4th gens did, to experiment, to do their own thing, to be able to do their own thing. I think, and having Oswald as well as their unofficial I don't know, Oni-chans for that generation, like Pekopa was, and Seishun Saraba and Hikari, they were for the 4th gens as well. Just having that experience, that exposure is going to be great for all the 5th gens going forward. And you can see that as well. A lot of them have grown in confidence in a lot of things. Singing ability has grown, acting ability has grown, variety, the smarts, the variety smarts has grown as well in a lot of them. So yeah, seeing 5th gens really grow into the group this year has been, or I'd say last year in 2023, has been really a very what's the word? It's a satisfying. Yeah, it has been very satisfying watching them grow into it. So yeah, that's has been my 2023 recap. I think I'll touch on like being a Yuna Oshi. It is a bit frustrating seeing how she's going with the current singles meet and greet sales, not having sold out many blocks at all, and even if she did, I think she sold out 2 or 3 blocks early on. She hasn't been selling out anymore. It is hard being a Yuna Oshi right now. She is getting outside work, so she's getting work with the baseball group. She's getting work in the magazines. She's getting those, the photo shoots and stuff like that. And she still has her weekly radio show as well on Bay FM. So yeah, I'm not too sure how to pick those meet and greet sales up again. But we all know that those sales are a big contributor of whether a member continues to be in or is promoted to Senbatsu for the following single or not. But I don't know. I'm not sure. I haven't been sure for the last 2 singles, I think, with Yuna's position. Like I said, she does have work. It's just not reflecting in her meet and greet sales with the audience anymore, the listener anymore. So hopefully she does continue in Senbatsu. She seems like she's gonna continue to be in that border of Senbatsu unders. And she's slightly obviously over the line in Senbatsu at the moment. But just having a look at recent meet and greet sales, I'll just load up my database. We can clearly see that we've got the members that are already exempt from meet and greet sales. So members such as Renka, Ume, Kubo, Mizuki, Yoda, they're all exempt from the meet and greet sales. So I think at this point you can pretty much guarantee that they're permanent Senbatsu members already. Excuse me. But then, having said that, you know that Kaki and Sak-chan, they're gonna be pretty much permanent Senbatsu members as well now, as well as I have a feeling Nagi is gonna be one of those permanent Senbatsu members as well. But then you see members like Ioki. She sold out second round of this meet and greet. And then you have Terepan, Aruno, Nao, Miku, Saktan. They all sold out in third round, so they're really pushing their popularity has like pushed through the roof basically. And then you've got Satsuki, Mayutan, Yumiki, and Aya. So those round up all the members that have sold out their full allocations of the Monopoly meet and greets. And then you've got Ayame as well, who sold out all but one of her blocks. So, which is unfortunate. I think she would have sold out that first block as well if they hadn't cut off the or if they had started the meet and greet sales, I think maybe a little bit earlier. So yeah, that was unfortunate for her. But yeah, and then after that, you've got like Kuromi. She's doing exceptionally well for the meet and greets for this single. Selling out the first 3 days already, and then she sold out one block on the 4th day already. So on my website as well, I think I've mentioned that she's the only member that's still able to completely sell out her blocks. So she's doing exceptionally well, a lot better than some of the other members as well. So Hazuki, Miu, Rika, Iroha, Runa. So those round up probably the ones that have sold a bit more. Then you've got Denchan, Okahina, Niria, Yuna, Day, and then Miu. So they've all sold like 2 blocks each. So yeah, not looking too great for Yuna. But you know what? I think being unders center, or being even in front row of unders, actually being in unders in general these days, is not as bad as people might think it might be, because you do get a lot more exposure in the underlives. The only thing is, then you don't go on the promotional promotional tours with the Senbatsu and doing the music shows and stuff like that. So yeah, it depends on what you really want, I guess. Okay, so I think that's my 2023 wrap up done. Personally as well, yeah, picking up again after so many years away and attending lives in Japan. That's been such a great opportunity, great feeling, you know, very emotional as well. So that's been, I think that overarches everything for this year, and seeing the growth of the members without the first and second gen members anymore. That's been the overarching theme of this year, that transition to the Kohais now being the senpai. So yeah. Alright, so what I'll do now is we'll go through some things for 2024. So 2024, this is a new year now, so with the new year comes a new batch of members that will be coming of age. So next week on the 8th of January is the coming of age day, and for our members we have Saktan, Miku, we have Rei, Hayashi Runa, Okahina, Matsumiu, Kuromi Haruka, and Iwamoto Renka. So those will be the members participating in the coming of age this year, turning 20 in the last year up until March this year. So Saktan being the eldest of the group, and Renka being the youngest of that group. So those 8 members, they'll probably be heading over to Nogi Jinja at some point, possibly this week, I would say, later in the week, to do, you know, their usual press junkets and take the, you know, the traditional photos. And yeah, it'll be interesting to see who comes out as the leader of this. Well, I say leader, but the one that's the representative of this group. If it's going to be Renka, the youngest, but being the senpai of the group, she might be the one that's leading the group. Otherwise, it might be Miku or Saktan, depending. But then you've got obviously like Rei, Runa, the fourth gens, the elder fourth gens of that group. So yeah, looking forward to seeing the pictures and their comments from the event, and to see what they've actually written on their Emma boards as well. I always make a trip to Nogi Jinja whenever I'm in Tokyo, and just taking pictures and seeing what the girls have written and having it in front of me in person is really special as well. So yeah, coming of age next week on the 8th of January. Next up, the 5th Gen photo book. So that's going to be released on the 20th of February. So a bit more than a month towards the end of next month. All the promotional shots that they've been putting out on Twitter has been really exciting. Seeing the 5th Gens all together in a photo book. I think if it's one photo book that you get this year, I think that should be the one that you should be getting. So yeah, bold statement because it is the beginning of the year. But if you're a big Nogizaka fan and you do like the 5th Gens, I think this photo book is a must buy. So yeah, have a look on Twitter, check out their socials, and just go through the links and see where you can pick those up from. I think I personally got it from Amazon, but I think Amazon, CD Japan, they've all got them on pre-order. So pick up a copy of that and support the girls. And yeah, release on the 20th of February. Okay, so next up, let's see some predictions for 2024. So what I'll do is I'll go through predictions that are likely, and then there'll be some predictions that are a little bit more hopeful. And I was going to do some predictions that are a bit out there, and like it's more like hopeful thinking, or but I couldn't think of anything that I could like realistically put on there, so we'll leave that out. So likely things to happen this year, pretty much guaranteed things that will happen this year. More graduations. So again, that's inevitable and it is to be expected. As for who, I don't know. You can always go by the list of names and take your pick. Having a look though, being the eldest member, I think Ayati has it going for her that she may graduate. But having said that, her and Denchan's being the second eldest of the group, they've been getting a lot more work lately as well. So yeah, I don't know. It could be another 3rd or 4th gen, in which case I have no idea. I can't look into a crystal ball and pick out the name of who it could be. And just looking at the names as well, I don't think there's any reason why any of them would want to graduate at this point. I mean, there were all those rumors going around in 2023, last year now, that Yoda was gonna graduate at some point. But obviously she will graduate at some point. I don't think it will be as present or as soon as people are assuming. So yeah, I'm not sure. Don't really know. And hopefully we'll find out what's going on with Sayaka this year as well. Whether she'll remain, whether she'll depart. But yeah, we haven't heard anything from her since the beginning of 2023. I think beginning or mid 2023. I don't remember. But yeah, we haven't heard anything from her, so we don't know what's actually going on with her as well at the moment. So hopefully we do find out what's happening, whether she'll make a comeback or if she's going to continue taking on the recovery time, whether with the group or outside of the group. So yeah, we'll hopefully hear something about that. So more likely predictions. I think this is most likely going to happen. I'm not sure if I would say I'm 100% sure. Well, I just made a contradiction of myself right there. But I believe that the sixth gen auditions will likely be announced for summer 2024 at some point. And they'll likely debut at the end of the year. So yeah, I have a feeling that those auditions will be announced sometime early this year, maybe after this holiday period, towards maybe the graduation period for students, and they'll announce it to run over summer, and then debut towards the end of the year or beginning of next year. So that's usually the modus operandum of that, and we'll see how that goes. Okay, so the next likely prediction for 2024 is another 46 hours TV. We haven't had one of those for a couple of years now, so the last time we had it, the 5th gens were introduced, so that was in 2022. So yeah, around February 2022 was when the last 46 hours TV was held, and having it on YouTube, that was probably one of the best decisions I think they had to grow the Haishinchu Streaming Now YouTube channel at that time as well. Like, I think they were aiming for the 1 million subs at that time, but don't think they actually reached it in time. But each milestone, they did have the cosplay little game that they did to mark each milestone. So that was really good. But having said that, what they used to do on 46 Hours TV with the Denshidai and those little film segments, and the midnight werewolf games, a lot of that content is now released regularly on the Streaming Now YouTube channel, as well as Nogi Doga. So I don't know if it all depends on whether management sees a 46-hour stream is going to be worth their time, effort, and the commitment of the resources again. Because it is an event, and it is an event that fans really like. So hopefully that they, with fingers crossed, that they will decide that it is worth it all. And because it has become a tradition now as well, it's just something that I think even members expect at some point as well. So yeah, fingers crossed that we do get a 46 Hours TV this coming year as well. Now, what we do know as well is that the birthday live is not going to happen in February this year, because I'll load up my calendar. We previously mentioned that the 5th gen photo book is going to be released on 20th of Feb, so that's one thing. But let's have a look at the calendar. February. Here we go. So that's January. That's February. So what we have here is on the 18th of February. That's the week before they normally hold the birthday live. 18th of February, there's going to be an online meet and greet, so that's nothing out of the ordinary. But then having a in-person meet and greet on the 25th, Sunday the 25th of February, that kind of rules out that weekend as well. And generally these big events, the birthday lives, are held on a weekend, plus maybe the Wednesday, Thursday or Friday beforehand. So that's not going to be likely that weekend. And then the following weekend, on the 3rd of March, that's Yuna's birthday. There's going to be also another in-person meet and greet that weekend as well. So having those 2 in-person meet and greets, that kind of rules out, in itself, those 2 events I think will rule out that the birthday live being in that time period. So I'm not too sure where they're going to be fitting in the birthday live this year. But yeah, we'll keep an eye on it, and I'll probably make an update somewhere maybe on Twitter, or do another one of these videos when we actually find out when the birthday live is going to be scheduled for. So yeah, probably another likely prediction. The 5th album is due. I thought they were actually going to be releasing the 5th album instead of the 34th single. So 5th album is due. It should probably be coming out before the 35th single. So I think if management wants to take it a little bit more relaxed with the album release, then they could probably slot it in early this year sometime. But again, all speculation, all predictions, and I have a feeling that it will be released before the 35th single, which will probably be maybe a summer single, which will then lead into obviously the summer tour. So yeah, hopefully we'll hear something about that soon as well. Now on to the next set of predictions. This is more hopeful. So hopeful that we'll be seeing the group go back to overseas promotions and performances. So we saw that with Sakurazaka last year. They performed in France, Malaysia and Philippines, and they did so pretty successfully as well. So just wondering if Nogizaka management has had a look at that success, and they'll plan out their own return to international concerts and promotions. And I mean, as recently as yesterday, we got the announcement that they'll be adding English subtitles, or English and Japanese subtitles, on the YouTube channel, on the Streaming Now YouTube channel, for all Kojichu episodes that have been uploaded on there. And they'll be updating new uploads with the English subs in 1 week after it's been uploaded. So yeah, so that announcement came yesterday already. So they're definitely looking into the English speaking market. And we've seen Sakurazaka already do that last year as well. So they've been adding English subtitles to their videos as well. So that's there has been precedent for it. But with overseas promotions and performances, I can't see them going beyond their usual, China, Taiwan, Hong Kong, Korea, that kind of group of countries. Maybe venturing out to Malaysia, Singapore. I'm not too sure that there would be any reason for them to head to the States or Europe or even Australia. Australia's never going to be on that list. So yeah, we'll see. Hopefully, this is one of my hopeful predictions. We'll see Nogizaka heading back overseas at some point this year. Okay, so I think that it comes to the end of what I wanted to go through. So we went through the quick recap of my Nogizaka 2023. So about being able to go back to Japan and attending Jingu. Seeing the growth of all the members, especially the 5th gens, and also the frustration of being a Yuna fan, a bit hard there. And obviously with the big graduations this year of the 1st and 2nd gens, as well as Sera and Yuri from the 4th gens. So yeah, that was a recap of 2023. And obviously it all capped off with the performance at Kohaku. Unfortunately, they didn't get nominated this year for any of the Japan Record Awards. But yeah, Kohaku was once again went off without a glitch and brought us to 2024. Alright, so that's going to be about it today. Hopefully that brought back a few memories of 2023 for you for the group. If you've liked what you've heard today, please leave a like, comment, drop a subscribe as well if you want to, because that all does help with my channel. And hopefully, yeah, going forward in 2024, we will be seeing Nogizaka 46 establish themselves continually, being the national idol group of Japan. Alright, so with that, we'll see you next time. Probably be a regular gaming stream next up. I haven't decided when I will be streaming that, but it will be most likely a gaming stream again. Alright, so yeah, until next time, I'll see ya. Goodbye.